In this lecture, we'll be discussing how to find the circumference and area of a circle. A circle is the set of all points equidistant from a fixed point. The fixed point is called the center of the circle. The fixed distance is called the radius of the circle. The radius goes from the center of the circle to one edge of the circle, halfway across. The diameter goes through the center and touches two edges of the circle. It goes all the way across the circle. The radius and diameter are related to each other in the following ways. The diameter equals twice the radius, which we can say d equals 2r, or the radius is equal to half the diameter. R is equal to d divided by 2. Since a circle is not a polygon, it's not made of straight lines, we can't find its perimeter, but we do need to oftentimes find the distance around the circle. We call it the circumference of the circle. The formula for finding the circumference of a circle is either c equals 2 pi r or c equals d times pi. The reason that there's two different formulas here is because of the relationship between the radius and the diameter. You really don't need to know both of them. You could just know that the circumference is the diameter times pi, and then remember the relationships that we discussed up here, that the diameter is twice the radius, or that the radius is half of the diameter. This Greek letter pi we see is an irrational number, which means that it is a decimal that goes on and on and on forever without stopping. A common approximation for pi is 3.14. That is an approximation, though. We're going to practice finding both exact and approximate circumferences of circles. Let's find the exact and approximate circumference of a circle whose radius is 9 meters. When finding the exact value, that means that we leave the variable pi in. We don't want to replace it with 3.14. The radius is 9 meters. I always remember my circumference formula to be circumference equals diameter times pi. They didn't give me the diameter, though. They gave me the radius. I know that the radius is half the diameter. So to get the diameter, I'm going to have to double the radius. So my diameter is 18 meters. I'm going to replace d with 18. I get c is equal to 18 pi, and then I'm going to put my unit of meters in. This is the exact circumference. To find the approximate circumference, we are going to replace pi with 3.14 and then round to the nearest hundredth as the directions told us to. We know that the circumference is 18 pi from the first part. Now I'm going to simply replace pi with 3.14. Or even better, you could use the pi button on your calculator. That gives us a more accurate answer since your calculator will hold 10 decimal places of pi rather than just 2. Plugging that into our calculator, we get 56.55, and we don't want to forget our unit of meters. This is our approximate circumference. We've mentioned that area measures the amount of surface of a region. Circles have their own area formula. Area is equal to pi times r squared. Again, I want to practice finding the exact and the approximate area of a circle. They're telling us that the radius is 9 feet. Start with the exact. This is where we leave pi in for our answer. We don't replace it with a number. I'm replacing the r with 9. We do want to do some cleanup here. I want to square the 9 and get 81. So our exact area is 81 pi, and don't forget your unit. And since we're talking about area, we know that the unit is squared. Our area is 81 pi square feet. To find the approximate area, we're going to replace pi with 3.14. We've already discovered that our area is 81 pi. So let's replace the pi with 3.14. Or again, you can use the pi button on your calculator. That's even better. Plugging that into our calculator, we get the area to be 254 and 47 hundredths. Also the unit, square feet. I used the other notation this time just to show you the difference. It means the same thing, square feet or feet to the second power. Let's do one more area problem. Again, finding the exact and approximate area. This time, though, instead of giving the radius, I give the diameter. Our area formula is pi r squared. We need the radius, but we've been given the diameter. To figure out what the radius is, we need to divide the diameter in half. So the radius ends up being 5.7, half of the diameter. To find the exact area, we're going to have area is equal to pi times our radius, which is 5.7 squared. Squaring the 5.7, we get 32.49 pi. And our squared unit, square inches. To find the approximate area, we're going to replace pi with 3.14. Multiplying those numbers together, we get 102 and 7/100. Again, don't forget your unit, square inches.